All right, everybody. PTG, Proxy Table Gaming, Lucky Sixes, and me, Hyper G. We are here in the middle way point of Art of War 2022. You're also here.
All righty, Roo.
Yeah, that was pretty good, I thought. That's
That
a bit of
was.
G'd up energy
That
for
was.
a Monday morning
I'm G'd
recording
up.
session.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, and you weren't before I started, so
I was basically
great.
asleep. Basically asleep. This is the
Well,
first.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's round three though, and a certain
Yes.
someone has had a very decent round one and two.
I'm on 39 out of 40 currently. It's
Amazing.
uh, it will be the best I ever have in any tournament
Well,
ever. I'm pretty sure.
aim for the 40 next
Well,
time,
yeah, clearly, but yeah, no, we are doing all right, and we find ourselves up against Sylvan Elves and Josh. Josh Burns,
Josh.
who is always up there, to be fair, and especially more recently, and even more recently has just found himself on the England team. So well done, that man.
Bravo.
I guess retrospective against England, but he's not on the England team at this point in time when I play him. So
when you play him,
technically, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see whether this counts.
You and Josh have got a little bit of a very gentlemanly rivalry that started some years ago.
Yes, I can't remember. I believe we've only played once.
I thought it was twice.
I can't remember the second. If we have,
okay.
I only remember. Then there's a specific reason. It's because this is predominantly where my name comes into play. In the I was playing his warriors, or my warriors versus his Sylvans. He left a 6/6 charge, and I got it with my chosen warriors and proceeded to smash him again. We may have played again, but
I thought you had. I thought you had done. But yeah. Well,
but that's just overshadows anything in my life, Warhammer wise. Yes. So So enough to say he's out for revenge every time he plays.
Well, I think irrespective of what happens after the 6/6, the 6/6 will always be remembered.
If we have played, he's probably won. So
well, maybe Josh can stick it in the comments. Yeah, so you can get a full history of how many times he's been able to get revenge.
I've just repressed all the other times.
Yeah, totally.
So that's how it works. But yes, my Kingdom of Equitaine versus his Sylvan Elves. You know my list. Survivor, et al. In the couple of trebs. So I'm sort of thinking. Well, we'll go on to his list actually. Josh Burns Sylvan Elves. He has a Shamanism Master. This is the second time I've come up against Shamanism as well.
Binding Scrolls as well.
2 Binding Scrolls. Which isn't great. Killy Forest Prince and being an elf with all the shizzles doesn't have much in the way of armour, but everything else he's got. I think he's possibly strength 8, if not 7 AP 5 or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
All the jazz. A couple of chieftains in there as well. One being a general, and a pathfinder. A couple of pathfinders as well. So, it's a predominantly shooty with the one essentially or 2 I guess combat units in the forest rangers and the briar maidens with people with the mounted chaps
right,
with lots and lots and lots of shooting. So we'll see how we do really.
Are the pathfinders the one that have the AP shooting?
So they can either do an extra 2 AP to make AP 3 in total, I think, or +2 to hit.
Okay, and they're already pretty good to hit.
And they're already hitting
anyway.
Twos, I think. So,
against your knights, that +2 AP is probably gonna be the key one there.
Spoiler: he doesn't use it. We use
the hit one,
counter thrust and spores of war, as was round 3. So, I mean, in terms of that, I didn't mind being closer if I could with counter thrust, because you can be. And spores of war always means that if he wants to get 2, like normally you can get 1 each pretty easily, and then it's just fighting for the centre. So I can zone pretty well if he wants to get in with this scoring stuff. Apart from his characters, I can't take his characters. Even my Lord struggles because of the agility. So I didn't know what I would do with the characters, and then obviously I just need to weather the shooting. I was bearing in mind I was 39 out of 40. I was thinking, well, I'll just play it really cagey and get as many points as possible, like a small loss. Fine. I don't know the matchups, so like against the last opponent Bondi, sort of since then I've been told that UD is a good matchup for KOE. I would presume this is a bad matchup because all the amount of range and avoidance style that Sylvan Elf are, and obviously I want to get into combat and smash through things. So,
and if you get outmaneuvered, your knights are in trouble.
Yeah,
I think about that.
Obviously, most of the time I'm outmaneuvering my opponent. So I guess for Sylvan Elves to be able to do it. So I was kind of in two minds before the game, just to think what the best course of action was, whether it's just to take the shooting and move away, or actually compete and try and go for a win. So I don't.
Sure.
I still don't know really, but we'll discuss that at the end. Class. So here we are. Here's just onto deployment, and I know that I don't know. I think I dropped for first at some point, but we will see about that in the second picture.
There's a nice little formation going on with those Heath Riders.
Yeah, so he put them up fairly early. In fact, actually, he might have done that first up, just in order to push me back.
It pushes you back.
And they can vanguard, so they can always move back if they want to and get back into shape. Nice. So
I like that.
Fair enough. Like it's got the tools. That's what he's got it for. So I know that I put my yeoman on the left side in a very similar. I know I copied.
You tried to copy
in order to make it so that my guys could at least get up on the left, close as possible. And then we sort of did a back and forth. I put the penitent and the auto sergeants on the right down fairly early, because I'm thinking that the penitent with the regrow can actually weather a bit of shooting, and if he puts stuff over there, I actually want to keep the penitent away. I can always bluff with something and chaff him because of the small narrow passageway down there, and he's not flying. My thoughts were to bluff basically, and if he's scared of me, I'll zone him for the game and just take some shots, and if not, I'll try and run away.
And that's the Briar Maidens opposite them, is it?
Yeah, it is in the end. So he put that opposite that, which meant I don't think he was very scared because of the killy characters can just he's got one strength 7 AP 5 guy that has 5 attacks.
Remind me with the penitents. Is it Aegis 5 up?
2 up, 6 up. They are. They can get better Aegis if they're
with an auto sergeant.
Well, the champion is a auto minister in there,
so
they
he
can
doesn't
get
need the auto
themselves.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Thanks for that.
So yeah, and I do need to. The last couple of battles I haven't been talking Orisons, so I will talk Orisons as much as possible because obviously it's a fairly new mechanic. But yeah, so my thoughts were that they can handle themselves. If they go after them with 2 or 3 units, then at least they're staying away. And I think he did drop so that I just went completely on the left. And I was like, you know what, I'll take the spoil on the left. I'll try and zone so he doesn't get close to me with that unit, and I'll try and put the Lord round his back. And his shooting wasn't overly around this side. He sort of went for the guys on the right, and obviously I didn't deployed on the left, but his scouts went second. The Pathfinders went second. One of them in his own deployment, and one of them like this. But obviously you can see the line of sight that he measured before putting them down, thinking, well, I'm going to go first, and I can probably get out your line of sight. And I was like, obviously there, I was going, yeah, that's fine, you can do whatever you want. But inside going, oh my god, why have you done that? Why have you left that? So I've got that whole passage there. Again, if he starts shooting my Treb, it's not fantastic, but it's 180 points or something. If he takes a couple of rounds shooting a Treb, then happy days, really, because then he's not shooting my knights.
You get cover for the Treb as well.
I get a bit of cover.
Not that it stops elves much, but
that's it.
I suppose then that is when they would use the +2 to hit.
Yeah.
Instead of the AP.
But either way, this is the deployment. So from my left to right, I've got the Lord out of the unit on the very left. Then the Yeoman, the pegs behind him, the Treb just on the hill, so it can see stuff around it. The Feudal Knights with the Damsel, the Auto Sergeants with Light Lances. With Great Weapons, Auto Minister, and the Folk Hero General in them. Then the Treb, then the Auto Sergeants, and then the Penitent. On his side, he's got the Dryads facing that way. He's got the Forest Rangers in the forest. The Heath Riders, I believe, in that conga formation. The Pathfinders with a character in right up top in the field in the middle. At the back, he's got the back two are the archer units. The one on the left, as you're looking, has the Wizard Master. Another unit of Pathfinders and the Briar Maidens with both the BSB and the Killy Lord.
It's interesting to see that Josh has gone away from Huntsman, which obviously is quite an explosive unit.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of shooting though, he's got 2 units Pathfinders, Heath Riders, the 2 archers, and the Briar Maidens, all that shoot.
Yeah.
Obviously, combat-wise, you kind of say the Forest Rangers, but they're, I guess, like sword masters type of thing. And then the actual characters are like units on their own. They're just so good. I think the BSB even has Spirit of the Whirlwind, which I believe is like 2 extra attacks and all the AP and things like that. So, yeah. I'm very scared of the characters, and I know I can't take them with anything. So I'm kind of happy they're on the opposite side of my pegs.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing what I can do really from there. But it is Sylvan Elves turn 1. He gets out of line of sight as is. His Pathfinders in the middle are a 2x5 formation, so they're facing towards my Treb, and obviously being skirmisher, they can shoot from any rank. Like that. Heath Riders move up. Otherwise, he moves his Dryads right over to the left. Obviously, trying to get me over there and out of the way myself. Which I'm like, well, if my Lord survives and gets them, that's a pretty good trade-off for the whole game. He doesn't die.
Yeah, I mean, Dryads are scoring as well, so you're stopping them getting a spoil in any late surge.
Sure.
If you left them there and just moved past them, they would get the objective, which is obviously not what you want to happen.
Exactly. So when he does that, I'm like, okay, well, I'll do that for 1 or 2 or 3 turns, let's say, and then move him in later on and see what I can do. Obviously, with the spoil on the left, I'm pretty sure I'll get that at some point. But
your Pegasus unit, is that scoring?
No, they're light troops.
I didn't think they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I kind of looking at it, I perhaps should have swapped the pegs with the
feudals.
Feudals or even the
Ordos,
to get, because the Ordos could go after it, because with nothing to challenge them, that'd be perfect for them and my general bunker. But obviously, I was conscious about my general being there. So
and you wanted your 2 best units on the hill, I imagine.
Yeah. So I was caught in a couple of minds really with my deployment. I'm not sure it was the best, but I was trying to do lots of things, I think, and that sort of got a bit confused, which is why really I left this channel, I think, for him to get into. I moved up. So very cagey on the right, though. I was really pleased to see that he didn't just move forward, because I'm no better on the charge. I'm all great weapons with a penitent, so he's going first. I'm like, I don't understand why he's scared, but if he is, then I'll play on it for a bit. But I don't like that the Heath Riders and stuff are all up in my grill, so there is that.
Yeah.
These 2 units get 4 out of 5 wounds, which I am over the moon with. That's fine. Right. You do what you want. That's another round of shooting. I'll have to, at least 1 unit I'll have to take. So
can he still shoot your Treb? Did he pass the test? I know he wouldn't have done a test for that. Would he?
He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's just as good as 5 wounds. Only he's close to dying. Over here, I lose. So this is effectively 2 wounds in the penitent, although I will get 1 back. And the light lances, auto sergeants, who don't have a minister, so I can't get 1 back there. Which means I didn't have to do a test, which was really nice. That was the other thing I was worried about, was these guys having a Leadership 7 panic test, but thankfully Aegis and that helped me out. So
cool.
Onto my turn, and I back off. I want to get as much leverage out of him not moving up to me as possible, and I think if I wait another turn, he'll be able to pen me in.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to keep that advantage and keep them back, I'm just thinking I need to get my penitence out into the game this way around and see what he does with it. My auto sergeants are just out of line of sight, so he can't charge me, but have moved back so that when at least pretending like I'll charge his Briar Maidens, I certainly won't, but I just want to pretend like I've got a thing, and also I can then move up and chaff him if he does move up. So there's that on this side. I march right up with the Lord on the top left towards the Dryads so that he can charge them.
Two in the front, the Dryads, or are they?
No, they're facing left.
Okay. It probably doesn't make much difference, but
if I charge him and I'm in his front, I get more attacks and better movement. So I guess there's that.
Oh,
but
okay.
he also doesn't want me to charge in his flank. So, so there's that, and then I kind of just move up pretty aggressively with the pegs and the feudals onto his forest rangers. I'm thinking if I can get these 2 units and then bugger off. That'll be enough points, and then I'll just be zoning the centre really. Not making a play for the left-hand spoil just yet, but I am turned my auto sergeants like that just to so that they're not going forward. I will need them at some point to go after it.
Yeah.
A Treb comes down and kills like 4 of these guys, which is nice.
Okay.
That'll do. Obviously being wider, there's only 9 to actually try and kill, so rather than being 3x8, because it's a 3x8 Treb, it's only 9 maximum that I can kill with 1 Treb, but it does it, which is cool. And that's it for my turn. Onto his turn. I haven't got a picture of movement, but I have.
Are you sure this isn't? Is this not your Treb blowing up?
No. This goes right onto his turn. I know because.
Oh, okay.
I was a bit frustrated because this was a swarm of insects. And I obviously being a autos, being a honor, I have a 5 of pages against magic as well as all this stuff. So I'm like, as if it killed me, but it did.
So you got 5 or more 6s on a swarm of insects, and
yeah, which is doable. And then I just didn't get any saves whatsoever. I was like, I just need 1.
Yeah.
But it killed it in 1. So that was annoying because
that's what swarm of insects can do, though.
Yeah, that was more annoying because it meant he didn't have to put anything else on it to kill it in 1. I actually let that one off as well, which is frustrating.
Well, you always tend to with swarm of insects.
Yeah, and I'd let it off because I wanted to get stop totemic summon, which I didn't.
You didn't.
So that was a bit of a bad phase for me. I think he 3v5 diced me,
Is this in breath weaponing as well?
Yeah, and the breath weapon takes the last wound off. I was like, all right,
dang.
Cool, that's it, fine. So that's my range gone. In shooting, he kills 3 over here, which is to be expected, to be honest. And I passed my discipline, which I was very happy with, which means they can chaff. And that's all they're going to be.
Yeah, actually, if you'd have failed that, you could have actually blocked your penitence from getting out.
Exactly.
Well,
so risky, but paid off, I think, in that from that respect. So yin and yang on the old luck thing. Obviously, with no trebs to go, he goes after my knights and kills 5 in a turn.
That's the AP +2, isn't it?
And I think it was at this point I just went, I just can't stomach that, even for another 4 turns. I can't stomach 5 knights going down a turn.
No.
And he's not close.
No, he's not. I mean, I was thinking, what shot that? I was about to ask you if the Forest Rangers got range weapons.
No, they don't.
And they don't. It's the other things.
For record, the Forest Rangers moved back 2.5 inches to give me longer charges. I think I'd need an 11 on both. Maybe a 10 on with the Feudal Knights. And I'm like, that's just brutal shooting. Yeah. I
now,
didn't.
now your feudal knights might actually not want to take on the forest
Yeah,
rangers.
this is it. It's worth saying. Obviously, there hasn't been much Orison talk, or even magic in my first phase. I had a complete bust in the magic phase. I didn't get the Orison
Binding scroll, maybe.
Possibly, but you still got dice, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't get the Orison hereditary off in my first one, and in this one, I didn't put any on the Orison. I tend to leave them for combat, but perhaps in this game, I was wrong to do so. I as a record for this whole game, I didn't put Aegis on shooting until very, very late on.
Sure. Yeah.
Perhaps I should have put it on this unit because this was going to be the main unit he shot at. Don't know. The thing I'm worried about is they just go. You have to do it at the start of the phase, so they just go for a different target. And
yeah, that is it. And it's
they're killing 5 wounds of. This is 2 up, 6 up.
Yeah.
That they're just chewing through. So I'm like, oh, I was a bit disheartened at this point. But onto my turn, and he did turn to face me at least, so I get the extra attacks on the charge. So I charge in. Let's get this done as soon as possible. Obviously, I need to make sure he's probably going to be steadfast, whatever. But I've got a chance of pumping through him this turn, which would be nice.
Yeah.
And here I need a 11 with the pegs, a 10 with the feudal knights, and I can't sit there and just take shots all the time.
That's it. If you lose another 5 feudal knights, they can't charge the rangers.
So I sort of and ah about this for a while, and I decided to go both, thinking that if both charge in, or if both declare the charge, I've got at least one chance to go through. I think I'm the same agility if I went on the charge.
He got spears?
No, he hasn't got spears. He's got halberds. Oh. No, actually, they're great weapons, but it just means he doesn't get the +1 to hit.
Sure.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Obviously, my lord goes first, and I was just like, well, there's not many of them. If I get my feudal knights, he won't be steadfast. I should do a decent amount. They're only elves, res 3, 5 up. So I should do a lot of wounds, even if just one of the units go in. I should do a lot of wounds, but let's put them both in. And
you can't hang around, like you're saying.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think that's sort of like that last shooting phase, or like magic and shooting, where he killed 2 trebs, 5 feudal knights, and 3 auto sergeants in one phase, in one turn. I'm like, well, if I just sit here, I'll just die. I'll just die a slow and painful death. So
not an honourable way to go.
Let's die a quick and painless death. I don't know. Well, but I only get in with the pegs and the feudal knights. There we go forward.
That's not a disaster.
Which
one of those.
I think at least my pegs are up there. They should defeat the forest rangers, I think. And I've got magic phase come up, whatever as well. So
interesting. You went in like that. I'd have thought you'd gone the other side and stayed away from his units.
Well, none of his units are shooting. Combat. So they're just going to shoot me. So they're going to move away and shoot. So I need to be as close as I can.
So you are still thinking of progressing on.
Well,
at this stage,
I need to at least project threat. If I go there, then turn to face, he has to move back, and I can either, if he's really close, charge into archers. That's fine. Or because he's moved back, if I then move that way, he's further away from me.
No, that makes sense.
I need to put some pressure on him rather than just let him have the whole zone of the board. I go on to remaining moves, and I chaff him like this, and because this was the most my penitents could move up.
So your autos have given him their flank, but if he overruns, he'll overrun it. Be impossible.
That was my thought. Although there is a mistake there, and I'll let you all have a 2-second look at it while I.
Oh, okay. He's got a character in there.
He's got a couple of characters.
And go past the building into your penitents.
Yes. So again, I'm wanting to put pressure on it with my penitents. My penitents keep regaining wounds here and there. My penitents go into any of those units, they'll win. But I need to get in. It's still not they can still move around and dance around and stuff. So I need to get as close as possible without even thinking about movement and just get up in their grill, making sure that they can't go to the left and get out of line of sight. And this was the best I could come up with in terms of, because they're not like troops on the right. They're just, scoring chaff. So I don't have the flexibility as say a yeoman or anything like that.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, are just hiding behind the hill at the minute, not doing anything.
Well, they would be shot in a turn.
Well, that's it. So I get Hand of Heaven. He binding scrolls, re-rolls to hit and lethal strike. Not that the lethal strike matters too much. I put Hand of Heaven off on these guys just to try and get some dice away, and he lets it go.
You only kill one.
I kill one, which is
Hand of Heaven.
Yeah, which can happen. And then I get the Twisted Effigy off on them as well, because I don't want them shooting my Penitent. Again, it was I'm rolling like 2 dice at these, 2 dice at these, and then I roll a big dice on... it's not rerolls to hit, what's the other one? Oh, +2 agility if offensive.
Know thine enemy.
Yeah, know thine enemy. On the thing, and he basically saved all this dice, rightfully so, to stop that. I think in the end I had 4v4 and he just got me, so fair enough. I do get Evil Eye and Twisted Effigy, which means they're not shooting at least, which is
that's good.
Going to help. But
and the Heat Riders can't run away quite as far.
Yes, exactly. But it does mean that my pegs go in completely unbuffed, which hasn't happened ever yet.
Sure.
So yeah, obviously my Lord goes in. He does take a wound,
standard.
But he does 4 or 5 wounds. They're steadfast. They stick. I'm still pretty sure I'll grind that out as long as I don't keep taking wounds. Anyway,
yeah,
it was like because I'm 1 at rerollable, so I'm just like as if every wound. I'm like I'm putting into things that have 0 AP, and I'm still dying. But anyway, but yeah, like I will go through that. It's just a shame for me that he passes, but I'll should get through them on his turn. So
yeah, and he wasn't planning on doing anything else in the battle, was he?
Yeah, exactly. So and this is after combat, and it's a bit hidden, but I do maybe 4 wounds on the charge.
Well, I was thinking there's a fair few elves still there,
and I'm sitting there like, to be fair, I'm hitting on 4s, but I'm wounding on 2s with no save or 3s with the pegs, and I've got let's count it because it's depressing. 4 from the Lord, 3 from the guy, 2 from all the other 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 attacks with strength 6, and I do maybe 2 wounds, and then the pegs do 2, including their stomps. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I should have done more than 4 wounds. He does 4 wounds back. Go. You've got your hand up very patiently.
I was waiting patiently. Where's your Orison token for the +1 to hit? What are you doing?
Right. So this is the big thing. So I'm not only completely unbuffed because of magic, because of the way the magic phase went. They don't have an Orison thing from them.
Sure. Yeah, right.
So the closest thing I have, the 4, the 5 is the Ordo Sergeants, the Feudal Knights with the Wizarding, the Penitent, who are obviously those 2 over there, and my Lord, who's obviously over there. And failing the charge with my Feudal Knights meant
locked off your Ordos.
I was about 9-10 inches away.
I know, and you didn't want your Ordos to get in that zone,
and I couldn't pump up my Orders with my General in it because I need my Ordos for the spoil on the left.
That's it. So that's why. Well, fair enough then. It's still unlucky, but
which means the +1 to hit isn't there, which is obviously quite crucial because I just fluffed all my hits. Like it was. I was so gutted. I did 4 wounds. He did 4 wounds. He's got a rank. I've got a couple of banners. I think I'm 3 because of the charge. Charge. Oh, so 4. I'm charge, banner, BSB, banneret.
Yeah.
And then I've got 4 wounds. He's got 4
Yeah.
wounds, a rank, and a banner.
But he's steadfast.
Steadfast, because I'm like troops. Passes, don't worry about it. And I can't win a grind. They're not there to grind.
He can't shoot you while you're in there.
He can't shoot me, and he's very unlikely to charge in anything because these are his best combat unit. Aside from the characters which are over there. So, as long as I can, I mean, I'm now only strength 4 with everything. So I'm only, it's only on 3s, and that is obviously on a d6. 1 is everything, but he's just as good, and now he's hitting before me.
And is he? Oh, geez, yeah. And he could get away from the beast off.
And it's his turn to get spells off. So I'm just, everything kind of went wrong with and I'm like, all I needed to do was get through this unit and then run away.
Well, you even have 3 stomps as well. I'm guessing they didn't do a lot.
Well, combined, I think I did 2 and 2. It's my thing. I think I did 2 and 2. So, which is just brutal, really. I don't know the maths even without any buffs, but
you'd expect more than 4
I'd expect
wounds.
more because he's got no save.
Well, with 3 stomps, you'd probably expect 2 wounds.
Yeah,
to be honest, at a strength 4.
So, but it is what it is. I was, let's say, notably frustrated at this point because we were. Bet you were. Well, and I was like, well, he's shooting me to shit, and then when I get into combat, I'm fluffing it. This is rubbish. This is rubbish.
Yeah. It's kind of reflected with your Hand of Heaven compared to this Swarm of Insects as well.
Sure. Right, so
they are both very similar spells. They can spike.
But and we'll do a bit of a spoiler. I bought him a drink at the curry house later on for my turn 2.
Ooh, stroppage.
I guess stroppage, but I guess it was more like, when you're just sad.
Yeah, just sad.
I was just sad.
Absolutely. We've all been there, mate. We've all been there.
Just like, oh, man. And I do perk up, at least, in this game, because I then realise it's just some toy soldiers, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And, but yes, but it wasn't, this wasn't my best.
It wasn't immediate. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, well, fair play to you for admitting it anyway.
I say I bought him a couple of drinks later on.
Yeah.
I reform like this to at least get some more peg and stomps as much as possible because they're doing as much damage as like everything else, so why not get them involved? And he does.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I didn't see it at the time, and then he did it, and I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, it's not ideal, that.
The overrun is a 9.
Yeah.
So it's very doable to get to my penitent. If he gets into my penitent, probably doesn't like kill me with his one character, but what he does do is he pins
hold everything in place,
and then it's just inevitable then. But this is like so. He's obviously left a rear charge or whatever charge if he does get in.
You say the Briar Maidens. Oh, are they the ones in the water? Or I thought you said they were not like troops.
No, my auto sergeants aren't.
Oh, right, okay. So
like
his Briar Maidens are like troops, so that's how they've got round there.
So they've usually, they've got a lot of stuff.
I thought he might have like blocked his Briar Maidens in behind his character, but clearly not.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. This whole movement is again top right. You can just see he's just don't worry about it. He's out of line of sight of everything, even my penitent, and he's just going to dance around for the whole game. And you're like, fair enough. But because his Briar Maidens are movement 9, they're like 2 better than my penitent. I can't just turn and face because they will kill me. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm a bit of a loss at what to do on the right side. I'm pleased that this is his turn 3, so it's unlikely that unit's going to get anything else.
Yeah.
So at least the penitent have done that job like pretty well at distracting near enough half his unit, half his army. I mean, it just still doesn't stop him killing 5 feudal knights and 2 trebs, but yeah, it is what it is. Over here, he gets 2 buffs. He didn't have magic cards, so I put my dice out. I think one of them was Awaken the Beast, and one of them was the Forest, so they're obviously steadfast in the forest.
Okay, sure.
Or something.
Are they still in a forest? Oh, they got a forest underneath them. Yeah.
So that's the 2 there. I can't remember what I dispelled, if anything, in that phase. In his turn, at least, I go through his dryads. He runs
Survivor,
and Survivor kills. The lot stays on the board as well, which is nice. It means he doesn't. He has full movement to potentially come in. And thinking that I've got a grind going on, I might actually need him. So this is this is good for me. Over here, he kills him, but only goes forward 7.
Okay, that's saving grace.
But as you can see, he does do 3 wounds to the penitent, and that's bearing in mind one of his Pathfinder units can't shoot. Pathfinder units can't shoot, so just alright. I need where's Druidism when you need it, eh?
Yeah, well, there is that.
Over here, he does 5 wounds, and I think looking at it, I do 3.
My goodness me!
If not 2 or 1.
What's going on there?
I'm just
I suppose
not rolling.
If he's got Awaken the Beast on res, then maybe that does.
I'm not rolling, and I haven't got the Orison stuff or any buffs, and it's so crucial to get some buffs.
So are we saying KOE without Orison UP?
Yeah, but they do have Orison, so it's completely my fault.
I know.
So
yeah.
Lucky 60's UP. That's what that is.
Well,
over here, I move up like so again, trying to get quite aggressive and start my. Let's go after the spoils.
Objective, yeah, sure.
Yearmen are just on the left because they've got no. I just move them up, they die. So I'm like, nice, 180 points that I'd save at least. The auto sergeants with great weapons start going on the left because they're going to be completely unchallenged. I move my feudal knights to there, thinking I want to get some pressure on his archer units.
Yeah.
And the general goes in so that he can.
Are you not worried that what's happened with your pegs that they might end up losing this turn?
I should have been more worried than I was. Let's just say.
Because I'm just looking at that and thinking, he's still
my
steadfast.
actual thought was, if he does that, if he goes into me there, then I will just countercharge with my lord. So, I mean, it's a bad charge, but then my lord will go in.
Yeah.
Sure. I should.
Yeah, I guess if you lose your pegs,
I'm not really thinking of pushing up my feudal knights much more.
No.
I just want to get them to a point where I can march
get
away
on the objective
and get on the objective and keep his stuff away from it. So I'm not there. My penitent go right up to put some pressure on. I don't care about flanks and stuff.
I think that's the best move you can do with them.
They know that nothing is charging them; they're just going to shoot. So let's see if I can put some pressure on a unit and take something down while I do it. So we'll see.
Makes sense.
I'm not really thinking too much with the penitent. I'm just trying to make him think about it. So I've just pushed him up. I passed my march check, which is obviously important, and just move him up 14 inches and say, "Go on then, move around me." Because I could spend 20 minutes trying to get the arcs right, but he'll still be able to move around me. So I'm like, I'll just move him up.
Yeah.
So really, I'm focusing on the next unit, which is the archer's unit, and hoping that the penitent being there at least forces his hand with the Briar Maidens.
Yeah.
I get Raven's Wing on this unit to push them even further over to the Spoils of War and get that straight away. So that's them done. Next turn, they're going to march.
Were you not tempted to put that? Were you not tempted to put that on the feudal knights instead?
Yes. Well, no. My focus was the spoil. I was like, right, I'm losing this many units. I need to get at least the objective. I need to draw the objective. Because or win it. Obviously, would be great. But, so I want this done and them safe.
Yeah, in the bank before you think about the feudals.
He can focus fire, and there's only 9 at 3 up, 5 up.
Sure.
Because I would have, if he pushes towards it, I definitely would have horizoned him. So I just do it, and he lets it off, and I go, and I'm like, yeah, that's out of my mind. I don't have to think about that. So
yeah, that's fair enough.
Exactly what you thought happened, and as you can
see. He's hardly lost
he
anything.
doesn't lose anything. And I'm just like, I had 3 rounds, man, of combat.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a combat unit, to be fair. Let's be honest. And I have no buffs. So maybe that was the thing. Maybe I should have put some more buffs. But from what I remember, he let off Raven's Wing. I didn't get anything else off. So I do have the Orisons, though.
No.
That didn't help. I put the Aegis on him because he going first.
Yeah.
Didn't help. So I'm like, oh, all right. He gets in like this. I'm like, fair play.
And that's your BSB gone down.
That's my BSB. It's 1,000 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
1,000 point unit that I think should have just mopped up and then ran away. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's pretty heavy, that.
It's brutal.
It's pretty heavy.
This is just showing what's going on, I think. Oh,
Totemic Summons having a good time on the hill.
Yeah, moves him up. I'm like, oh, bugger off.
I suppose that is a genuine threat to the Ordos, actually. So
go away. I mean, they're great weapons. I don't think they're going to kill him, and they actually have a decent chance of killing him back with hatred and.
We've seen that combat before, though. In our KOE off a Totemic beat a unit of Ordos.
I know, but yeah. So yeah, there's just this. This is his turn because obviously. The other thing is what I was thinking is that I'll get that charge on the. Let's go back one because it's fairly important. He'll do that and I'll just get his charge off. But obviously it's his turn, so I've got to weather 1 turn's worth.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that is the issue that I was worried about. If I'm honest, because they're great weapons and they've still got 12 attacks at least.
Oh, mate, I think it's 2 attacks in the front, so I think
hitting on
18 attacks.
On 2s.
I think it's about
wounded
18
on
attacks,
2s.
So
yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah. This is how he moves, and like I said, I could have been a bit more careful, but I didn't want to be close to the Briar Maidens. It just means that everything is out, and I'm like,
that's unfortunate, but like you say, you didn't put the time in necessarily because
horrible picture.
That's Sylvan's for you, man.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
Avoidance,
I know, absolutely, yeah, and that's it. So, yeah, there's that, and get ready for the pain. Because they have 2 wounds each, remember. So they did about 9 wounds. There's 2 up, and I did put the Orison on them.
And you're not achieving anything in the further turns with them. It's just a matter of time.
So brutal, yeah. Anyway, this is what happens in combat. You choose through 8, I want to say, possibly 9, and I'm left with that's the Banneret champion. The general and the wizard, and I really need to hold. Rally, sorry, my next turn. Otherwise, Totemic Summon, baby.
And you'll be on half leadership as well without a BSB.
So my turn goes in. I charge into the rear.
Okay.
I actually need a 10.
Hail Mary.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I've got to get rid of them. I've got to do something against this unit. I'm not best pleased, but. Yeah. Your
Lord didn't move very far in its previous turn, did he? Did he not move right up to them?
I thought maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't. If not, but yeah. But I get in, which is good. There's a bit of we can do something there. Obviously, he's got to survive the shooting.
Oh, that's very good that he got in.
Yeah. My big unit with General. And Damsel continue fleeing.
Oh boy!
It leaves. There's a 9 available for the Totemic.
3d6. It should get it.
This is just showing you the last picture you'll ever see of this. These
I
two
mean,
units.
if the Totemic Summon does go after them, and he probably should, it does mean the Ordos are a little bit safer.
Yeah, they're safe, and this is just showing that they're going to go up and not worry about him for the rest of the game. So at least there's that.
Yeah.
He goes in, does more wounds than the Pegs ever done in 3 combats, completely on his own, but they're still steadfast and they hold.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Totemic Summon gets the unit. Sad face.
Yeah.
And then
crying face.
And then we have to speed up a little bit. So this is one of the last photos. I go through the. In my next turn, I only do 1 wound to his rangers. He does nothing to me, thankfully. But he flees because I'm in his rear and all that jazz. Then he doesn't rally for the thing. So at least I get those points.
Oh, okay, cool.
He then moves up his archers onto the spoils, hoping that it can be steadfast for the rest of the game. And I charge into his flank. So
you didn't pursue the Rangers?
No, because I need the. It's much more important that I take that risk because they're half points anyway.
Yeah,
and they're literally like 200 points.
And if they don't rally, then you'll get their full points.
If they don't rally, then great. If they do, then I only lose 100 points. Whereas the objective is 900 points worth, right? So that's the big thing. And I think he moved up thinking that I would go after them, and I didn't.
Sure.
Another picture of these guys, just because. And this is the last picture. Thankfully, I do go through these and I catch them, which is good. Which means we draw the objective.
That's something.
I didn't show you. If this is the last picture, I don't take a picture of the penitent. They move up to the right corner
and die.
Yeah, because you've seen the thing before. So at least I get this, which is good. I've got a few points back in, but I've just taken a whole load, and it ends up a 16-4. And if I'm honest, I was pretty happy to get 4. Because I
you
thought
were going in thinking a small loss. It's kind of a medium loss, really.
Yeah. I'd say big. But it's not a 20. And I must admit, when my pegs fluffed it, I thought that's it. That's the 20. So pretty happy for the 4 points in the end. Yeah. Obviously, he just demolished me with things. A few mistakes though, and I've got a few pictures. Deployment. Okay. Obviously, one of the big ones, leaving him that gap just to put all of his shooting to basically shoot freely, pretty much.
So, what would you have done differently? Twist the auto sergeants to face the right?
The pegs coming in the centre potentially is more of a thing. But I don't think the play on the Rangers on those top 2 units and then getting out of dodge is a bad play. I'm pretty happy that the Briar Maidens and combat that kicks the whole of my army's ass is just focused on the penitent, and in the end it was the shooting that finished off the penitent. So
the Briar Maidens didn't do a lot overall.
In retrospect, I'm pretty happy. I think it's just allowing him the corridor is pretty annoying from my part, and also potentially swapping around the penitent and the auto sergeants on the right, so that the penitent are already there, because it takes them a little while to get around my autos themselves. So actually, if they swap them around, my penitent are more central, and probably mitigates the risk of the auto sergeants on panicking and getting him away. Yeah, because I'm never charging him.
If you do have the Pegasus in the middle as well, they are also a third line of defense for your penitents to escape behind.
Yeah, exactly. So I think those things, it's only minor, and I'm not actually that bothered about my deployment, apart from say leaving the angles so that he could get really close to me and just do what he wants. The other thing obviously is charging both. I did need high rolls on them, which is why I thought play the odds and get them both in. But actually, just charging the pegs, knowing that if they get in, I can put my feudals up within horizon range. Or if they fail, I don't lose much.
Yeah, sure.
Apart from I've got to weather another round of shooting. So I shouldn't have charged my feudals in any regard. I think is the play here, because I need a bit more mitigation and things. But I was thinking I can't take 5 wounds a turn.
No, so, if you'd got the other charges the other way around though, if the feudals had got in instead of the pegs, they do have Horizon to make them +1 to hit. They probably do go through the Rangers.
Yeah, you
would think. So, but is it the feudals who needed the smaller distance by the looks of it?
Yes, they needed a 10. They needed a 10. But so I think his army list and his damage he did on the last turn, 2 trebs, 5 feudals, and 3 autos in one turn really just disheartened me enough to make this mistake, I think. So I think it's fair play on that point of view. But I think looking at it from hindsight with stuff is that the pegs going in isn't a bad play, because I do think average wise I do much more than I've done in terms of that.
Yeah, I would say so.
But I think the mistake is even declaring the charge with the feudals. So there is that as well. But that is my thing. We end up on a 16-4. I end up on 43 points from 3 games.
Very respectable.
Which,
very good.
I'm really happy with the day one. I only need 17 points now for my 60 total, which has been shifted because of OPKOE.
Yeah.
And we look at it and we move on. We have a really good night and stuff. But obviously, we've got your game coming up as well to see how you end the day.
Indeed,
as well. Yeah. So it's a good day from KOE, and I'm pretty happy despite the big loss. Because I think there's a few things I could have done in this to mitigate it.
Sure.
But
Josh is a pro player.
He's really good.
Sylvans.
He's really good.
So any little mistake you make against Josh and Sylvans, he is going to pick up on. Simple as that.
And I think, looking at it from hindsight, I didn't really know the matchup to start off with. I thought, he's going to shoot me, but if I can get in, great. I think I would do well to get an 8. I can maybe make a better play for the objective. And keep some points off. If he doesn't get, say, 1,000 points, I'll maybe get it down to a 15-5, 14-6. Then I get his unit early doors. Maybe a 13-7. I'm trying to look at it, and I'm trying to think actually how many points were available for me in this game, and I don't think it's too many more if I'm really honest. I could have been. The other thing I was thinking was I could have made it a non-game. I had a hill on the left side.
Yeah, you could.
Let's go here. Okay. I had a hill on this left side. I could have, the way I've deployed, I could have just ran away.
Yeah. He would have taken a turn or two to get to you, especially being able to shoot anything useful. That
would have made it maybe a 13-7, just if I just run and not do anything.
To be honest, I think he gets at least 13 by winning the objective, and then more for whatever he does kill.
So I guess in terms of comments, guys, is this a bad matchup for me? Because obviously during the game I was thinking, this must be a bad matchup, and I did overhear Tanker going, you'll just shoot him off. So I was like, all right, fair play.
I suppose at the top tables everyone's talking about who's going to be top at day one, aren't they? Yeah, that's the kind of conversation you're not necessarily used to hearing.
Yeah, so. I know. This was table 3 as well, I should say. I've been on 1, 2, and 3 for day 2, so I was pretty happy. So I'm sort of looking at it going, is it a bad matchup? And what can I do to get more than 4 points? And what is my maximum, realistically speaking? Is the win available? What can I do to get that win? And things like that. I feel like I made a few mistakes, but overall I was happy with my game plan. So let me know if I'm completely wrong in that. The other thing I guess was the magic priority. The other thing I could say, but meh. Yeah,
no, it's all right. It's all right, and you got to come out with 4 points. So
and I didn't get 20'd, so I've only got two more chances to get 20'd now. So
good stuff. No, I enjoyed that. That was a good one, good tactical one. Even in defeat, it was well worth looking at that one and seeing what could and might and should have happened, etc. So, no, nice one. I enjoyed listening to that one. Great. So we'll move into round 3 for the Orcs and Goblins. On 2 defeats at the moment. So looking to hopefully turn the tables.
Yes.
And we'll see how that goes in a minute. So see you for that one.
Yep. See you later.